Mrs. Kwok, perhaps more than most mothers, treasures time with her children.
我咧個個都中意㗎，點講咧？個個都係我生出嚟啊嘛。
She's taken them from a country that she doesn't care for to a place that doesn't care for them. But they can't stay. Soon they'll be deported.
心情我唔好咯，前幾日嗰啲話到嚟打電話嚟，我都喊咯，成班細路都喊。
好啦，咁多位團友嚇，咁歡迎咁多位咧就嚟到我哋香港遊覽啦嚇，咁啊今個月份咧。
Tourists from mainland China peruse their new acquisition, a place that bears very little resemblance to their home across the border, a place all Chinese know about but few have seen.
咁我哋今日去嘅地方咧，咁包括同大家就去山頂啦，去呢個淺水灣海洋公園活動，咁啊沿途咧都。
These people are wealthy enough to afford a package tour, but Hong Kong's riches are for the looking only.
嗱，咁我上到嚟呢個位置咧，就山頂咧就最高噶啦。咁喺呢個右手邊呢個鑊形呢個咧就係新嘅瞭望台。咁我哋睇風景咧，大家就跟住入去咧，我哋最入邊嗰個獅子亭嗰度嚇。咁啊，同大家約一約個時間先啦。而家9點半鐘，咁啊，而家跟住我入去睇下風景先啦嚇。
Mainlanders come in droves to a city they believe is paved with gold. Nearly all who come here want to stay, but that's the preserve of a privileged few. So, far away from the postcard scenery, they come here illegally. It's dangerous, costly, and for those who actually make it, their struggle has just begun. Mrs. Kwok has been smuggled into Hong Kong and deported back to China 5 times.
爬梗係唔驚咯，快快脆脆爬到見到香港啊，見到老公仔女啦咁咯。
She bribed border officials to allow her 2 eldest into Hong Kong, but has left behind a 5-year-old daughter in China.
有啲食咧，有啲玩咧。 哎呀，嗰個妹落咗嚟，好啊，一齊玩一齊食咯，佢咁講咯，都好掛住佢㗎。我呢個細女都成日掛住鄉下嗰個㗎，一係留啲俾阿家姐啦，留啲俾阿妹啦。而家手啊，隻妹啊！呢啲相我大陸個女㗎，呢啲個女大陸嘅。 坐下先。好，佢5歲到而家都未影過嚟，呢啲咧3歲幾嘅時影咯。係。阿妹，呢個係邊個啊？呢個邊個啊？你識唔識？係啦。
Mrs. Kwok's 4th child, Salman. Unlike the others, she was born in Hong Kong and so has the right to live here. But she's far from the lucky one. She has asthma and suspected epilepsy and is to undergo a brain scan in a few weeks. Mr. Kwok is showing early signs of lung cancer. The family is trying to convince the authorities to let Mrs. Kwok stay on humanitarian grounds.
佢翻到如果鬧唔掂啊，就係要翻到香港。我做到同埋呢兩個攬住就死啦，攬住同埋呢個細啊。 以後錢你抽筋，我就隻暈嘅時候唔知撲落去，咪諗住死咯。我如果未翻嚟之前嘅時候，我翻嚟嗰差人嚟捉我嘅時候，同佢攆過啦，我同佢猜過啊，我唔同佢客氣啊，真啊，我事實，嗰醫生嗰證明係冚唪唥，是醫生只留低我老婆照顧個女。
Mr. Kwok is nearly 30 years older than his wife. Unable to work, the family survives on welfare in a government-subsidised flat. It's a situation created by misguided pragmatism, the desire for a better life.
咁以前咧好興話嫁嗰啲香港人唔使咁辛苦，唔使耕田啊嘛。咁我哋買咩咯，嫁俾佢咯。我係做我懶㗎，唔向嗰時咧耕田耕咗10幾年驚咗啊！唔好話嚟睇老公嫁老公耕住老公，個個都想香港咁靚啊，會睇下咯咁喎，個個都係咁諗啦。而家好多人想嚟㗎。
The border and beyond mainland China, where the Kwok's youngest daughter lives. From July the 1st, all of the Kwok children, as well as tens of thousands of other mainland children, will have the right to live in Hong Kong because one of their parents has residency here. But while they have the right to be here, not all of them can come at once. Every day, thousands cross the Hong Kong-Chinese border, testament to the growing economic and human links. Only a fortunate few get the right to live in Hong Kong. Separate from the throng are the few lucky ones. Just 150 a day gain a coveted one-way permit to Hong Kong. The backlog of applicants may take up to 20 years to clear. For those who can't wait and enter illegally, the Hong Kong government has sent a clear message, making a public spectacle of deporting a mother and her 8-year-old child. The mother's handcuffs are visible. The child is lost in the melee. And there may be up to 100,000 illegal immigrants already hiding in Hong Kong.
I think that will be the first crisis that the SAR government has to face, because I'm sure in the first week of July 97, a lot of children who are hiding will surface. And also, I think a lot of people will try to come to Hong Kong because they may think that now with a new government, there may be, new measures.
And you think this could happen in the first week of the handover?
As I'm sure, because I do think that a lot of children are hiding in Hong Kong, who have come to Hong Kong illegally, those who are born of Hong Kong residents.
清修仲可成仙佛，可惜先帝同官未得入葬皇陵啊。紅魚只可烤出。
So is Shamshui-Bo an area where we'd find a lot of immigrants, both illegal and legal?
Yes. Shamshui-Po is
Silai Shan is a social worker who well understands the problems faced by new migrants. 16 years ago, she herself legally came to Hong Kong from China.
哎呀，嘢揾錯門啊！好啊好啊
Hello， 你好，你識講廣東話㗎？
Mrs. Chang and her family of 4 live in a room of an apartment. 5 families share the same bathroom and kitchen.
好啊！哇，君君，認唔認得我
Hello， 你好。
哥哥咧？哥哥去咗邊啊？哇！你又坐啊？
你唔掛住佢哋先啊？你嚟坐住。
Amongst her few possessions is the most treasured of all, her permanent residency, which means her children, unlike the children of illegal immigrants, can go to school.
大陸讀書讀到咩程度啊？
又好彩我仔女成績唔係幾差，佢考試考到合格啊，先有得讀啊。
Despite her circumstances, Mrs. Chang feels lucky her family is together in Hong Kong.
深圳熟啲啊嘛，呢度唔熟冇查查。又地方又貴，老公又揾唔到錢，邊度好啫？親戚話俾仔女過嚟，下次有得發展。
At the Migrant Enquiry Centre, it's a different story. Every Sunday, Miss C answers queries from divided families anxious to be reunited. Most of her clients can't read or write. Their dreams of a better life have foundered through naivety.
我老公嗰時通知我6月4號啊，要離境啊，我話咩？我老公啊喊啊，唔好喊啊！佢話要跳樓添啊！你會唔夠力啊？又話嗰啲做咗大手術呢啲啊？呢次我喺度申請啊，依家仲要叫我上訴，上唔到，交翻我大佬。
你應該要做下呼籲下，嗱，中港婚姻要咁多年嘅結婚落嚟嘅，我哋都唔會，你攞住槍講句唔好聽，你攞支槍槍斃我都唔會話嫁香港人要咁麻煩咯。
These families have been split apart by ignorance and kept apart by a corrupt and unfair system in China.
有錢嘅人咧就可以落嚟，冇錢嘅人就唔可以落嚟，即係你要靠佢啊嘛，你要靠佢，佢就揸住你個腳嚟針對你，即係你一定要嚟靠我，咁㗎，佢唔係話而家好啦，有到期啦，佢又要你錢喎。
Mrs. Kwok knows the story well.
同人借啲錢俾住佢先咯，咁俾咗錢就 OK 咯。佢我哋輝康記錄生尾啊嘛，輝康嗰時咧佢話未啊，咁我會問我輝康個親戚話記錄生尾話未，拉尾請人哋食飯卡拉 OK 節錄使2000蚊食完嗰啲錢啊，第2、3日咧話嚟得喎，我嚟喎，你係幾歲啊？
Driven by desperation, Mrs. Kwok stages her own protest. Last year, she finally received a temporary permit from mainland China to buy herself some extra time here. But she's trying the patience of the immigration authorities and now the police. The mainland mothers attract little sympathy from Hong Kong's self-made people.
I think no one in Hong Kong, even the local people, can expect the government or the society as a whole to provide everything for you. That's not the kind of society they should expect when they come to Hong Kong. Personally, I could not accept those who try to come to Hong Kong illegally, saying that they should be allowed to stay here. I have more sympathy for those who are staying behind in China.
Time is running out for Mrs. Kwok.
康送咧報政司寄俾我㗎，要嗌我哋走啊！我個女咧嗰啲病仲未好翻，7月4號都仲要做手術。 咁佢一路有哭橙食，而家又嗌我哋走咯，我哋好頭痛咯，唔知點做好嚇。
Like Mrs. Kwok, tens of thousands of mainland Chinese will continue to run the gauntlet of the authorities on both sides. Now that this lucky capitalist entity is part of China, will its communist masters ask that it opens the door to allow others to share in its phenomenal success? Or will China preserve Hong Kong's historical role as a home for the financial elite? Whichever path, desperate families like the Kwoks will do anything to stay in Hong Kong, a place they believe is infinitely better than the motherland they left.